Now that we know the basics of frames, keyframes, and our timeline, we're really ready to get things moving. This new version of Flash has a brand new way for us to create great looking animations without much effort at all, and it's called Motion Presets. Now you can start off with the file you used in the last chapter, or if you're starting fresh on Chapter 4 like me, you can go to the Chapter 4 folder, open up the Flash Site 4 start file, and what we'll do is we'll save that into our Flash Site folder. So I'm just going to choose Save As. We'll go out to our desktop. And in our project files, I'm just going to go to that Flash website folder and either overwrite or just create a new file called Flash Site Flaw. I'll click Replace, and we're ready to go. Now, we really want to take a look at these new motion presets. They're a lot of fun, and they're incredibly easy, as you'll see. Let's set up an animation for our camera. Now, I'm just going to click on our camera icon. You can see it's by itself in the camera icon layer. And it's also a movie clip, so it's basically ready to go. Right now, I have a frame span of about 14 frames set onto that, but that might change with the motion preset. Now, to apply a motion preset, we already grabbed our panel in the first chapter, and that's the Motion Presets panel right over here. If you didn't set up the workspace like we did in the first chapter, you can find it under Window and Motion Presets there as well. Now, if your motion preset panel didn't open with the default presets open, you can just click on that triangle to twirl open that default presets. And inside there, we can see a whole bunch of different animations. Each one has a name that describes what it's going to do. And if we click on it, we can get a little preview of what kind of animation we'll get. We've got ones with blurs, bounces, all kinds of different animations. And we're going to scroll down here to a nice simple one for starters, Fly in Right. Now, if we want to use this on our camera, all we have to do is click the Apply button since we already have our camera selected. And we can see that our timeline shows a number of changes. First of all, our span has been extended. Each one of these animations has its own preset span, so it'll change depending on which one you choose. We can also see our camera icon has a little path added to it, and that shows the motion. And if we grab the playhead and move it around in the timeline, we can see how that animation is going to look. In any case, it's basically going to take over that object and apply whatever settings it needs to in order to achieve the preset. We can even see that the icon for the layer has completely changed as well. And this is actually really important because this is no longer a normal layer that we can draw into and add other elements to. This is now a motion tween layer. And it's going to restrict what kinds of things we can do in this layer. For instance, none of my drawing tools will actually work in this layer anymore. If I grab the pencil tool and try to draw, you can see the little no sign there indicating that I'm not going to be able to add anything with my vector tools at this point. I'll switch back to my normal selection tool here. Now let's take a look at some of the other things that have changed as well. I'm going to actually click on the camera icon so that my property window shows me the camera icon movie clip properties. We talked about a lot of the things that we could change in here, and one of them that we looked at was the color effect. Let's go down and take a look at that. Now, we didn't have any alpha changes on our original camera icon, but as you can see, our preset has set up an alpha of 0 at the very beginning. If I grab the playhead and move it a little bit, you'll notice that the animation is controlling the alpha, and that's what's giving us the fade in of our camera icon as we move through the timeline. It doesn't reach 100% until we make it to the very end. I'll click my camera icon to bring that property setting back up, and we can see the 100 right there. Now, if we move the playhead back to frame 1, we can see that each one of these dots along the path actually represents a position for the camera. If I move it from frame 1 to frame 2, you can see it move to the second dot. And we can tell by the dots that the camera is even going to appear to slow down as it reaches the end of the path. Each frame it's moving less and less, and at full speed that's going to be a nice slow movement. Let's see what this looks like full speed by going back up to our control panel. I'll just hit play, and we can see that the camera glides into position. So these are really nice sophisticated movements, and remember, all we had to do was select our camera, select the motion preset we wanted to use, and hit the apply button.